Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for March 10th. We are looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair is moving sideways. It did close down today, and the bias is definitely sideways. Now we are looking for this pair to move potentially as high as 99.94 and possibly as low as 96.90. Look for some resistance to come into this market around 99.20 and look for some support around 97.87 in this particular pair. Now switching to the Euro-USD pair, this pair closed up today after moving significantly higher, but did pull back more than it had gone up and closed lower than it had moved in between yesterday's range, which I thought was interesting. But nonetheless, it did close up. We are expecting it to possibly move as high as 129.53 and potentially as low as 124.50. Now look for some resistance to come in around 127.25 and look for some support in this particular pair at 125.75. Now switching to the pound US dollar pair. This pair has closed down after pulling back a little bit. We are expecting this pair to move possibly as high as 140.60 and 134.85. I do anticipate this pair moving lower. I believe the bias is to the downside and that we are moving lower. And I'm expecting it to move lower over this next session. Now switching to the US Swiss, this pair moved significantly lower but did pull back prior to the close to close up for this session. It is moving sideways and the bias is sideways currently. We are expecting it to move possibly as high as 117.47 and possibly as low as 113.30. Look for some resistance around 116.50 and look for some support around 115.30 in this particular pair. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, we have 3 overextended bars I wanted to let you know about. We have one in the Australian US dollar pair, and as you know, basically at the closing price, we are looking to buy, and that would be at the 0.6457 mark, looking to exit this at 0.6486. Now that's only a difference of 29 pips, so I'm not too excited about this just due to the fact that if it doesn't just shoot straight up, we could be stopped out. I like to have a little bit more room using a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio than that. But nonetheless, it's one to take a look at. Now the US Canadian dollar formed an overextended bar. As you can see, it's pulled back up against it. This one, on the other hand, looking to sell short at 127.87, looking to exit this particular trade at 127.24. Now that's a difference of 63 pips, and this is really the one that I would look to go ahead and trade. Basically, when we get a break of this session's closing price, we're going to just go short and look for it to take out or hit the low. Now, when that occurs, we should get 63 pips out of it. Now, your risk to reward ratio, just add 63 to your entry price up, and that will be your stop loss. Now, the other one that I'm looking at, and this one is even tighter than the Australian US dollar pair, but nonetheless, I want to show you the Euro Australian dollar. There's only 13 pips worth of movement there during this from the close to the low, so I wouldn't recommend trading this. But if you have a trend system such as Trend Finder and you want to drop down to a lower time frame and take advantage of this, knowing that the odds are really good that if we have an overextended bar, that if we push lower during that next session, we could get some quick scalping trades on the hour time frame. Well, that about does it for the charts. We do have some news announcements that are coming out. We have the pound releasing their total trade balance for January at 5:30 a.m. Consensus is that it has gone further into negative territory from negative 3611 pounds down to 3,700 pounds. Now, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand has their rate decision being released at 4 a.m. Tomorrow Eastern Time, and the consensus is they're going to drop from 3.5% down to 3%. The Australian dollar also has their consumer inflation expectations for March being released at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and there's no consensus. However, last month's was at 2.3%. The Australian dollar also has their employment change for February being released at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is that it has dropped significantly from 1.2K down to negative 20K, which is just an amazing drop. If that does occur, we could see the Australian dollar drop further. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.